Okay, I just got the horses fed. Paloma is here eating at her rock. Blue is eating at his rock. And I have got my book right here on my favorite spot in the horse paddock. And I'm gonna come back here. I promised last time I said I was gonna show you guys a map of our track system. I promised him to do it today. I completely forgot before. I actually showed it, but I didn't show it in detail. So what I wanted to talk about is mud control. We had a massive storm last night. We have had a lot of rain, which is unusual for us, but I mean, we do have this seasonal, like springtime, lots and lots of rain. And I wanted to walk around the track and show you that these different types of footing on the ground cover, what they do for mud control. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to show you specifically one spot where we have had real mud problems. You can see here we have got water standing, but even if the horses walk through that, it's not going to cause mud to cake in their feet. This is our arena. It's sandy loam and granite sand mixed. Granite sand is a lot less dusty than other kinds of sand, so it works great in arenas. I'm gonna walk down the track. I'll turn this around here. So this is our track, the mulch. You can see the horses have been through here a couple of times already this morning. No mud problems. Mulch, we do replenish this mulch maybe once every year and a half or so. Sometimes if we've got a big tree trimming project, we'll make our own mulch. If we don't, then we will buy some mulch, which is usually not, and it's not an expensive product. Here, this is when we start getting into where we struggle with mud sometimes. Right here is under their hay feeder. I just let this hay build up. I figure, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I can walk across it. It's kind of spongy, but I'm not getting mud on my shoes, and that's kind of the indicator that it's going to be a problem for the horses' hooves. This is their sand pit. It's holding water. It's pretty rare that we get enough rain that this actually turns into a little pond. This again, I replenish. This sand, I mean, it was probably a year and a half before I brought in a truckload of sand and filled that up. And at that point, I actually brought in another truckload because this is right where we were having a lot of mud. The horses like to, on the track, they'll either lay in the sand pit or they'll come down that lane of mulch and onto this area and kind of make the big loop. However, once I put the sand down and I got the coarsest sand they had, it's not play sand, it's just it's not the granite sand. Granite sand would be great, but it's a little more expensive. This is kind of the cheapest coarse sand that they had. Right here is a mud spot. When they walk through this, their hooves are gonna pick up mud. I could get sand on that would fix it, but I don't mind them having a little bit of a natural, you know, mud would be in their natural setting if they were living out in the wild. So walking through a little bit of mud is not going to kill them. Right here you can see we've got some hoof prints sinking down. Right here, this is the kind of mud that is damaging to a horse's hooves. However, I'm going to show you, because of our ground cover on the other end of the paddock, it takes care of itself. So they will walk through here. Their hooves are like plungers, and they are these circles, exactly like a plunger. They go into the mud, suck it up, and it just stays right there. So we're gonna come around here and you'll see, same thing, soft mud, soft mud, soft mud. And then we come back into sand. And you can tell right here, they are not sucking up any more mud. And in each of these steps, this is something I want to show you. This sand, you can see the mud right there. The sand cleaned that off of their hoof. Okay? Right here, again, as they're walking, their hooves are being cleaned. They come over here. They went into the arena because we have all of the granite sand mixed in the sandy loam. Same thing. Their hooves are being cleaned as they walk. It's really pretty magical. Sand, they're coming here. This is soft earth, but this is not muddy. This has got some sand in it and a lot of the just natural rocky gravel that we have on our property. We come here and then we get into this, the magic of our paddock, I call it. And this is the 1/4 inch crushed limestone. It stays soft. It looks just like decomposed granite, but it stays soft where decomposed granite will compact itself and become really, really a hard surface. So look in here, completely clean. By this point, they have very little mud in their hooves. And then right here, something I wanted to show you. This is pretty cool. So this is out of the bottom of a horse's hoof. That's got some hay in it. That's got any mud that they picked up. And because they walked on this 1/4 inch crushed limestone, it cleaned it right out of their hoof. So we have got no mud problems anymore. Every place we've ever had mud, we brought in the 1/4 inch crushed limestone and no more issues with that. About once a year around their rocks will get soft because this is where we feed them. We've got, this is where we give them their alfalfa, and they stand here multiple times a day to get fed. The alfalfa gets on the ground, it gets trampled in. This will eventually get soft. There's a little bit of a soft spot right here, but they can walk right through this. And when they get over here to where the 1/4 inch crushed limestone is thicker, the mud is going to come right off of their hooves. So this is pretty fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. And this is not an expensive product. I can go to the material yard and I can pick up half a yard of this 1/4 inch crushed limestone, pick that up for $22. I can get half a yard in my little half-ton truck. If you've got a bigger truck, maybe you could carry a full yard, have it delivered. It's not a big investment and it makes a huge difference for your horse's hooves. Okay, so this is the book I recommended the other day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about our track system. So this is what it looks like. We've got our main gate here and our barn here. And then the track comes all the way around. Our arena is sitting in the middle. This is a 60 by 120 foot arena. The track comes around here. Down this whole side is mulch. We come back here, sand. There's the sand pit. Trees to block the view from this end of the track to this end of the track. There's a feeder back here. The horses come around. This turns into just our natural kind of mud and rock ground cover. Come around here. This is where we come into, we start hitting the 1/4 inch crushed limestone. That's all inside our barn. Comes right over here, and then this entire area is the 1/4 inch crushed limestone. And then back here by the pond, which I've done another video that toured the pond, the horse pond, this is all pea gravel. So they have got multiple, and then in this area, little area here, this is just left natural. Lots of trees in here, so there's going to be a lot of tree matter. Just the regular rocks that appear naturally. And I will show you again this pretty cool thing that I've shown before, but we have got a really small paddock. It's 3/4 of an acre. So let's imagine this is a football field. These things are to scale. So this is our paddock compared to a football field. This is with so much variety for them. So many things for them to do, keep themselves busy, keep themselves entertained. We've got no bored horses here, no bored animals. And that makes for a very happy horse, a very healthy horse, a very mentally stimulated horse. Paloma, our sweet girl, and then Blue on the property also. He's actually boarded with us. I was prepared to have one horse, but not own two horses. But if you are a horse person, you know horses do better with a buddy. And Blue was the perfect companion for Paloma. They had known each other from the location where they were kept before they came here. So they're kind of just best friends. And we've got a little chicken in the paddock this morning. So it is a gorgeous morning here in the Texas Hill Country. It's really wet because we had so much rain. We needed it though, so I'm thankful for it. And I will at some point do a video about mud control with other types of animals. We also keep goats here and chickens, and we don't really have an issue with mud for them either. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Have a great day. See you later.